Alright, Unit 3, Section 1, Crime Scene Basics. Corpus delicti means the body of the crime. What it must be proved when processing a crime scene. First, obviously, you need to prove that a crime occurred. Second thing, that the person charged with the crime was actually responsible for that crime. Now, you don't do this, there's no predisposition. You're not going to go in with an assumption that a certain individual committed a crime. You want to do unbiased. But ultimately, that is whether or not the person can be charged or not with a crime is going to be the end goal. A couple things to keep in mind about motives. There are three recognized primary reasons for a crime to be committed. The first is going to be money. The second is going to be revenge. And then the third one is going to be very intense emotions. Most often love, XOXO. Hate and anger, obviously very intense negative emotions. If a person doesn't have the ability to control those emotions, they're gonna react, and they're gonna do that. So, all right, there we go. Next one, different sources of evidence. The body itself, obviously, is going to be our primary source of evidence. The crime scene itself is going to have a ton of evidence, and then also the suspect. The suspect, they can have hair and fiber, they can have DNA evidence, other things that are connecting them to the crime, blood, things like that. So those are things that are going to be able to hopefully be collected from the suspect if the suspect is found at or near the crime scene. It hasn't been too long of an amount of time. Based on the Lacard's exchange principle, we talked about that. Some of the processes of accessing or really developing through a crime scene. First is going to be recognition. This is done at the scene of the crime. This is the scene survey, documentation, collection of evidence, things like that. Identification comes down to back at the crime lab. This is when you're doing comparison testing, taking your sample and comparing it to a known sample. Individualization then is going to be taking those results and seeing if you can start to tie them back to a single source or piece of evidence, things like that, suspect. And then finally is reconstruction. This is what's going to happen when an expert is called to testify at the crime at court. They're going to ask to present basically a reconstruction outline, and I will be asking you to do those throughout the course. But a reconstruction is going to be reporting the evidence and then presenting what does that evidence suggest has occurred at the crime scene. Alright, so that's it for this one. The next one will be a little bit longer. We're going to go through the different people that are involved in the actual crime scene team. But that's all for this one.